Ah, yes. Perfect. The song I fucking live for. Alright. So, the one I wanted to read was this one here. But, then these popped up. So hold on. Oh my god. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Songs of this game are cloying.
What's cloying mean?
This game has existed for a long time. It's time to renew these songs. This game needs renovation. Even put music from anime or classic games. This game does not. This is boring.
Wonderful. Imagine like playing your own music while playing the game. Imagine. You can do that. It's a possibility. You can like mute the game. You can mute the music in game and just play your own songs. It's fine. And then of course this one as well.
This game has no fair rules. It's easier to convince Elon Musk to fly a cow to Mars than this Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel to renew the old archetypes and remove these dirty rules.
I like how this guy came out of his cave to say this. Why? What do you mean by dirty rules? Please explain. The prison in which you are trapped is one of your own design. You are stuck, forever running in circles in the hamster wheel of life. You have invented new rules for the game and written them down as sacred scripture within this prison. You are writing more rules on the walls every day, returning only when enough new ones have been created for another thread. You have placed a children's cartoon from 20 years ago on a pedestal, enshrining its legacy into an unassailable symbol for all to strive for. But in the process, you have bastardized the very ideals that they once stood for, losing their meaning entirely as you fight more and more fervently. You run further and further until you forget what it was you were running from in the first place. Yet, you keep on going. You have to learn to let go. Only by letting go will you find the freedom outside those walls. History will repeat itself indefinitely. As long as you are willing, as long as you willingly enclose yourself within the prison of your own creation. Otherwise, you will find yourself here again within a few weeks, making more threads, mimicking a vague notion of some unattainable Eden forever out of reach. Thank you, Papa Shekels. That was amazing. What a beautiful comment. Absolutely fabulous. I do know that this guy does come out of hiding every so often and just complain about the game. But a little like Detsia. For some reason, I guess. I don't know why. This was from a while ago. I say a while ago, a couple days, about a week. But I think I've read that one before. He's just upset that nobody uses spirits anymore. And like, my guy, spirits are so absolute garbage. What is this?
No Negate Fest. I hope to the Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope to the universe that this game won't ever become the Negate Fest modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is.
What? It is, isn't it? What? Gridora, please.
The lad deserves to enjoy his final hours.
What is that behind it? Oh, it's a funny spooky skeleton of the image. It is, isn't it? Yeah, like, isn't it, like, this is a complaint to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and it's kind of close to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Are you telling me modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, the time difference between Master Duel and current format there's such a huge gap. Oh my god. Mopey. Jesus. There's such a huge gap between, like, Master Duel and modern Yu-Gi-Oh! That there's even a bigger Negate Fest that's happened. So, alright. That's basically the new shit. I mean, there's other new shit down here, but, you know, we'll worry about that later. This is a humble question, right?
Why was Dragon Ruler banned? Unbanned. I can't believe they released, well, the use of these dragons in this deck.
I added that one recently, Mopey. I was going through my list of stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't really used the content thing before. I'll put the content on. People come for this content. That's what they're here for. But Dragon rules at the time of their release were pretty broken. Nowadays, there's so much other like shit that's basically on the same power level as Dragon rulers that nobody really uses Dragon rulers anymore. Because it's just not worth. But you get to spam rank 8s, wonderful. You know what else does that? Like fucking Galaxy Eyes. What was the other thing? Oh yeah. So I don't know what happened when. I'll try to keep an eye out for it. This person here. Okay. Shit, it started this far back? Okay. This is the guy, this is the main protagonist of this thread that I need to keep an eye on.
Because power creep has reached a point where they're not broken by comparison, which should really put in perspective how bad power creep has gotten. But most people aren't ready to hear that, because they love their meta slop Lamau. They love their meta slop. Yeah, not because I'm a huge fan of Yubel, and I really like the fact that Yubel is a playable deck now. God, not because of that, no. Absolutely not. So this is why they were after Chloe. Okay, now it makes sense. Wow. It's almost as if... What is this a link to? Oh, the Pokemon stuff. Is just... Oh. Natural progression of card games. Okay, right. I have no knowledge of the Pokemon TCG, but I appreciate the receipts. I wonder what the Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, sorry, the Pokemon TCG like power creep has been though. See a Mewtwo? That was definitely Mewtwo. Hang on. I don't know what any of those cards do in the Pokemon TCG. I have no fucking clue. It's the Pokemon TCG. Like, I know there are definitely some broken-ass Pokemon cards, for sure. The major one I want to point out is the Mew Gensect. I wasn't paying... Chloe, I'm so sorry.
Pokemon Mew, it's one of the most hated
cards
in
that's right.
Pokemon. This cute little Pokemon is actually deadly thanks to the Fusion Strike trait, and it's...
Okay, again, I don't know about Pokemon TCG. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I will educate myself when the Pokemon TCG, like, mobile app game comes out. Not the TCG Live, the new one that's coming out. The one that's going to be about the cards or some shit. I don't fucking know. But that one. Mew uses 2 energy, all cards... Okay, this isn't... Sorry, Chloe, but this isn't what I'm here for. The thing I'm here for is the clapback that devolved into absolute nonsense. That's what I'm here for. This guy got a clown award on like every single one? Hang on.
Bread going moldy is a natural progression of bread. Doesn't mean it's redacted good.
I like how comparing Yu-Gi-Oh! To moldy bread. Fair.
If your argument is every card game has the same issue, ruining their game too. Sorry. Every card game has the same issue ruining their game too. Then it's not a redacted argument. Just because an issue is pervasive in the genre doesn't magically make it no longer an issue.
I mean, if every card game is suffering from the same problem, doesn't that just mean that's a card game problem and it's not just a Yu-Gi-Oh! Issue? The mobile game, yeah. Like, I'm interested in it because it looks like Pokemon TCG speed dueling in a sense where you have like only 3 monster zones and whatnot, probably like less prize cards. Like, I want to try that. No one is saying it isn't an issue. I'm saying you complaining about power creep is like, in your own words, complaining about bread going moldy. We can't magically fix that bread, so the best we can do is use what we can get out of it and enjoy it. Like, yeah, like cutting out all the moldy parts and eating the rest of the bread. Suffer through it and potentially end up getting sick or just tossing it out and wait for fresh bread. Or look for a different bread entirely. You said no one wants to hear it because they love their meta slop. I'm saying everyone knows already. Sorry, yeah, I'm saying everyone knows that already. What no one wants to hear is people complaining and insulting them over it when they can play something else if it's such a problem. Let the community decide if a game is worth sticking to, even if it's slop, as with the natural order of games. Or play a different format. Or play a different format too. That's like getting new bread, is playing a different format. Like, me going to Tag Force is the new bread. Sorry, and then fucking this happened.
So your solution is to give up and enjoy the slop. Thanks for proving my point.
Mate, I like Yubel because I just like Yubel, okay? That's like the only meta-relevant deck I've ever used in my life, and it's only because I like the archetype. Other than that, like, I don't know, a Sky Striker's slop? They seem like pretty big spell slop, I guess, you could say that.
You know what Konami could do? Use the ban list to actually address the issue instead of letting it happen, let alone worsening it, like unlimiting Kashtira Birth for no reason.
I mean, that's just Kashtira's, alright, I don't like Kashtira's any more than anyone else.
You know what else no one wants to hear? People rolling over in resignation because power creep can't be fixed, even though that's a balance issue and literally the job of Konami to sort out. Just consume product, get excited for next product.
I mean, I don't know if this is still applicable because there are some really strong archetypes that have been around for a while. Like, Telements have apparently been around for a few years. And they're still pretty strong, as a rogue deck anyway. Not Yvel's Fiendsmith, god. I can't wait until the Fiendsmith cards come out, and then every deck gets to be a Fiendsmith deck. But no, Buttersnuffs. The only, I don't know if you saw it last time, but I was messing around with Yubel and Evil Heroes. I don't have the Unchained cards, so I can't make Yubel Unchained. So my only option is either Yubel Hero or Yubel by itself. Both are kind of fun in their own respective way. I like Yubel by itself. I think it's pretty neat. The only problem with Yubel by itself is I have no option other than to use Yubel. With Yubel Hero, I at least get to try putting a monster down that can beat over stuff. Oh, that's fair, Buttersnuffs, that's fair. So, I'm not here for you, Herald of Opera. I'm here for Zephyra and Chloe specifically. Because I want to know what happened here.
Sadly, you make a good point. And that's a problem with no easy fix.
So hang on, I think I forgot to read this. Oh no, this is Herald of Opera. Fuck, what did I say? And build a resource system immediately assume the movements of the game is recognized.
So what would you suggest then? Because the current trajectory of the game is already a downward spiral, albeit...
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a downward spiral. Of course it is, because I said so.
And it isn't sustainable. Even if people aren't increasingly driven away due to rampant power creep, eventually decks will just reach a point where games are decided by the coin flip. And
yeah?
And the opening hand in the more literal sense.
Yeah? I mean, that just depends on the deck you're playing, my guy. If it bricks really hard, that's... Nobody likes to say this, but that's one of them, their skill issues, my guy. One of them deck building issues. This is no reason. Getting real tired of you dodging 2/3 of my points to nitpick, just the ones that proves your point. When I do my best to be as thorough as I can, even if it means giving fuel to your fire. Like someone mentioned, you continue to berate players of what you think is better and healthier for the game, and anyone that disagrees with you, even slightly, is part of the problem. This is, I've seen this comment on fucking Reddit so much, where it's like, the game was better, like, 20 years ago. Like, man, we just go back to 2006. Shit was great back then, Mo. Like, that's peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Personally, as much as I did like the anime decks from the eons ago, I kind of like the game now. If you were to compare it to something like Yu-Gi-Oh! From 2006, I'm right. No one else, no way. You can't tell me people actually like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Fuck. No, that's not right. That's correct there, Buttersnuffs. But what was the thing? I would rather a duel be over in like a couple of turns instead of like playing the game as slow as fuck, like, and then your opponent puts down swords and it's like, well, shit, okay, I guess we wait. Couple turns happen, your opponent puts down Nightmare Steel Cage and it's like, alright, guess we're waiting some more. You attack into them, they got Marshmallow and it's like, alright, fine, I guess. then you got your Dark Holes and your Raigekis and shit. Actually, I think Raigeki was probably banned back then. Is based though. It's such a weird, like, to say the game was like good back in the day, and then you see cards like Swords of Revealing Light, like that card feels a bit like power imbalance. Like Nightmare Steel Cage is understandable because it stops both players from attacking. Swords of Revealing Light only stops your opponent from attacking. When back in the day, the only win condition is to, well, the main win condition is to whittle down your opponent's life points by attacking them. Stopping that one way to play the game is like, well, puts a halt on everything, doesn't it? Swordsman of Revealing Light. Buttersnuffs, I remember that from way back in the day. I've seen that card. I have never, ever, ever used it in my life, but I know it exists. Because when I was playing the game heavily with Catrix a long time ago, I know of that card. It's like the equivalent of stuff like fucking, there's like a Raigeki absorber or some shit. There's like a white hole. Like cards that are, I don't know if they're support or just like synergies or some shit, like just counters for like very specific staple cards from back in the day that no one uses anymore. But sorry, either way, even they, you know, might like how things are. This is true. I do like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! In a sense. I think it's kind of fun. There's a Dark Hole monster. Yeah, Dark Hole Dragon. Fucking hell yeah, bro. Love Dark Hole Dragon. He gets to set Dark Hole on my end phase, which surely won't get MST'd, right? You also continue to act like this is strictly a Yu-Gi-Oh! Issue, when this is an issue with the game industry that continues to build upwards like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon do. I agree with you on one thing, and I've said this before myself. Yes, they should be using their ban lists more often. I mean, this might be a TCG issue, because the OCG ban list does have frequent updates. TCG does not, apparently. Azurai filled me in on this, but apparently the TCG doesn't update unless they feel like updating the ban list. And they only update it when they really, 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 really have to update it. And they would rather not. I have pitched the idea of separate formats. I have pitched the idea of frequent ban lists, or more frequent ban lists. I have pitched the idea that we need to add more to the casual audience. However, the fact that we don't is of no fault of the players, but Konami to begin with. Instead of getting anything of actual value for the casual player, instead, we get ELO, or WE. I'm not familiar with lingo like this. For master ranks. Oh, that's right, there's like a rating system you can do now when you hit Master 1. Something like that. It's like a fun way to play the game, I guess, but you have to reach Master 1 first. It's a good addition, sure, but oh my god, is something like that so late to be implemented in the first place and still doesn't cater to the casual one, who has been starving for actual content to keep them engaged? Or what? Is WE really mean whatever? Is that true? I've never seen whatever abbreviated to WE. That's, interesting. Engage. You know, sometimes people rolling over exaggeration, the power cube isn't fixed. Next product. I have spent my time helping with rulings and questions. I have continued to provide different viewpoints in usually a constructive manner. I have done my best to try and make the forum a healthier place. All you continue to do is come in here and gripe and spit vitriol because you aren't getting what you want again and again and again. And no one wants to hear that, I guarantee you. Don't worry, Chloe. I'm here to absorb all of the information that Zephyr provides. Not only because we enjoy the slop, not because we enjoy the slop, but because we have found ways to enjoy it despite it. This is true. We get it. Most of us are grown enough here to understand it. Understand and get it. You are the only person that doesn't seem to get that. If we really had hang on, I lost my train of thought. You are the only person that doesn't seem to get that if we really had a problem or had a big enough issue of said product. We wouldn't engage with said product, nor would we waste our time attacking the community for what they clearly enjoy. The one and only thing I will positively give you is that beside all of that toxicity, you do want things to get better, and are willing to discuss it, but take it down a notch, Chief, please. I think so, yes. I mean, whatever does fit that context. Take it down a notch, Chief. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Because your entire argument can be summed up as, we're powerless to make the game better because every game has the same issues, so you might as well not bother trying. Which is nonsensical.
How is that nonsensical? Do you want to really stand up to a big corporation by yourself? You want to go to their house and be like, yo, Konami, we need to have a chat about your Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Yeah?
Bugs are an issue in many games across several genres. Do we give up on trying to fix any games that are buggy? What about optimization? Cheaters? Latency?
Okay, how is any of this relevant to Yu-Gi-Oh? Is the game buggy? Probably. There's probably like 1 or 2 very obscure bugs with certain card effects, so yeah, maybe. I'm sure if you address that to Konami as a bug report, they'd fix it. Optimization? The game runs pretty well on phones. I don't know. Cheaters? I haven't seen any fucking cheaters lately, alright? I'm sure if there are cheaters in the game, I'd see them by now. I don't think cheaters have been a thing since, like, the early days. Latency? This is just like a fucking you problem, honestly. Like, yeah, there are people that, like, waste time, probably have bad connection issues. Understandable. People might Alt F4 when you just sit there with the U-Bell on the field and they can't do anything. Like, yeah, I've seen that happen. Not really a huge issue, but how does this relate to Yu-Gi-Oh? By the way, specifically addressing it to Konami. Like, is that you're just gonna walk up to them and be like, hey man, you need to fix this stuff, bro? What the game like how you are?
Well, considering the game's current state, where if you lose the coin toss or the opening draw is poor, you're most likely to lose.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Bro, this is based on the deck you're playing, not the game in itself. Like, I willingly like to go second. That is a choice, my guy. I have a deck designed about going second. It is fun to me. It's just fun, alright? I don't know about you personally or what you get off to, but what I get off to is like looking at my opponent's board and being like, oh, they're gonna fucking hate my guts if I just remove their entire shit. Yeah, I like that. I think that's funny as fuck. But nah, that's okay. Because like, if your deck is entirely reliant on you winning the coin toss, I don't think that's a good deck, alright? I know there are trap-focused decks like Labyrinth, for example, where you either A, need to win the coin toss to set your traps turn 1, B, draw the hand traps that Labyrinths have to set your traps on turn 0, or there's another deck that does this too. Either way, if you are playing a deck, if you are playing a deck that relies on going first, you really need to, like, consider that that is what you're going for, and you shouldn't be upset that you lose the coin toss, because that's just the nature of the game. The Mimighoul archetype. No, Buttersnuffs, I've not seen that. Learning Yu-Gi-Oh again. What is Mimighoul? That sounds new to me. I've not heard of that before. Learning modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Fair enough, fair enough.
Mimighoul?
KBJ, how's it going? KBJ, can you tell me, does U-Bell, is U-Bell good for going first or second, or do you have to win the coin toss in order to win with U-Bell? Like, just saying. Why does the link say, is this really an article? Wait, what? Mimighoul Dungeon. It's any face down monsters. Wait, are they flips? Mimighoul Cerberus? Mimighoul Dragon? What the fuck? Why? Wait, you just give them to your opponent? Oh, that's cool as fuck. That kind of reminds me of, like, it's like a niche little archetype similar to Amazement, where they have their own little gimmick. That's pretty cool. You can make U-Bell going second. I like U-Bell going second because then I don't have to worry about my opponent having a monster. I can just attack and win. Funny stuff. KBJ, thank you for the deck idea, by the way. I like Yubel. Yubel's pretty cool. That's a fucking insane. I wonder if you probably put something like Morphing Jar in a deck like that. Wouldn't that be silly? I guess you wouldn't need to because one of those cards is basically Cyber Jar. That's pretty neat. Sorry, unless you're playing the typically broken crutch decks that everyone else is playing. Yeah, Yubel. It's pretty easy to guess as to why they would think the game is healthy. Dude, I don't know. Sky Strikers can do pretty well by going second. Is that a crutch deck? Is that a broken crutch deck? Like, if you're complaining about Dark Magicians not getting a chance to go first or second, well, that's just on you, bro. Like, come on. This is why, I don't know if this guy's willingly open. I don't know if this guy's gonna have a discussion about, like, what decks he likes. This is why I like asking people, you know, what deck do you like playing? Because Zephyr's the kind of guy that I think he doesn't play a modern deck. I don't think he plays something made in the last, like, 10 years. He's issue the game because again, just because the issue is prevalent doesn't make it any longer an issue. I mean, like, you just get with the times, old man, please. Balance more often. Well, besides ELO not having any noticeable effect on the game, from my experience, did you even, like, get to Master 1? Assuming it's implemented in the game already, we can at least agree on that you didn't get to Master 1. Okay. Sorry, hang on. Rolling over. Speed read this, guys, please. Well, I point out the issues with the game and get redacted for it, because it goes against what the community hive mind thinks. We're all a hive mind. Every one of us thinks the exact same way. My favorite deck sucks. This is coming. That's Mopey. That's what the guy's complaining about. That's exactly it. Even though it's as obvious as the sky is blue, dancing around the issue and encouraging positivity for positivity's sake is akin to lying to ourselves that the weather is lovely. And given enough, it may be a torrential thunderstorm or a freezing blizzard. We gain nothing from ignoring the issue, so it needs to be said. What? You pointing out you don't like the game because, well, literally what Mopey said, your deck doesn't work? I'm like, the complaint where it's like, oh, you see the same 5 decks every so often. You don't have to use the same 5 decks as everybody else in order to enjoy the game. Like, you can find your own way to enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! And still have fun with it. If you're not having fun with Master Duel and you're not enjoying it, there are other outlets. You can go play, like, Edo Pro? Edo Dueling Nexus? Like, you can go play other formats. Go play Tag Force, alright? I'm sure your deck will work fucking wonders in that. But, like, you don't have to get mad about nothing. Like, I like heroes, and I like that heroes have an option of being, like, amazing, alright, with the Omni heroes and stuff. I like that Neo Spacens are capable of doing that too, in current day, with, like, the Neos fusions and Cosmo Neos and all that crazy, and Nebula Neos and shit. I like that that's a thing. Using Sky Strikers being my, like, deck that I took somewhat seriously after playing heroes for so long. Holy shit. Like, the fact that that wins against most decks just because, like, except like maybe Crashed Heroes, because it just has so much destruction in it is hilarious to me. And you only need like 1 monster on the field, so you can't get like Lava Golemed and shit. Like, I like that stuff. Just find a modern deck that you like. It doesn't have to be Snake Eyes, it doesn't have to be Rescue Ace, it doesn't have to be Fire Kings, it doesn't have to be Kashtira. You can find a deck that you enjoy and still be pretty strong. Like, I don't know, Fur Hires could be pretty strong if you use them correctly. That Tri-Brigade stuff is pretty cool if you know, build a deck that's like comprised on using it correctly. I know I used to have the complaint where I was like, I would never use such a generic garbage. I would never use such a generic slop in my deck like Ash Blossom. Like, fuck that. And like, I don't know, man. The card's like pretty good. It's like useful and helps you play the game so you don't write shit like this. Like, just use it, man. Like, it's fine. Your ego isn't gonna take a hit. Everyone else is using it. Okay. Sorry, enjoy. Well, I have nothing but contempt for those too apathetic to care about the issues Yu-Gi-Oh! Suffers.
suffers from, and has so for years, especially when those same people hate any ideas, suggestions, or attempts to fix the game, if only by a little.
I don't think anybody is against having other formats, or a best of 3, or tag duels. I don't think anyone's against stuff like that. More ways to play the game is, you know, good. That's healthy. No one's against that. Take another notch.
Well, I'll be more positive when the game is in a positive state. That seems fair.
Is the game not in a positive state right now for you? Is the game not catering to your needs? I'm sorry. Oh boy, here we go. But this isn't a bug or anything. Oh, good that Chloe commented on this. This isn't a bug or anything of the sort. This is, for all intents and purposes, the direction the game is choosing to go in. I have before and will continue to recommend people to literally play the free fan-made alternatives, because that is literally our way of playing the game how we see fit, and taking power back when corporations refuse to do so. People want Master Duel, specifically, to change. I know you want the entire format itself to change, but you know where I'm going with this. Because it's the most accessible and bright, shiny colors when it's the most accessible with bright, shiny colors when I would argue the fan-made games offer way more in terms of content and ways to play. Despite these things being up for years, they've been thankfully left alone. Now if Konami cease and desisted those things to where there was no alternative, oh, go and rain hellfire, my dude. I'll raise up a pitchfork to fight alongside you. I'm actually surprised that Konami hasn't taken action on stuff like that. They haven't really talked about it at all, but they also haven't, like, taken down any fan Yu-Gi-Oh games. Agreed. Master Duel is certainly a lot more accessible, I will say. But it's also missing stuff too, which I don't like Air Neos. Yeah, this is about coin toss. All about what you said is subjective. I have barely had any issues with this. Had barely any issues with winning this game like I have other card games, where metas are far more stagnant, and getting cards are much more of a hassle to even begin making anything competent enough to experiment and play without actually and consistently losing to people paying to skip their grind. Chloe, this is nothing against you, but please, I could use a comma somewhere. Literally, the one issue that I've personally had in recent memory was that I was having win streaks with B Troopers like a year ago, but had 0 ways in order to beat the newest meta deck on the block branded Despia. Oh man, I'm glad I didn't play the game around that time. Did I complain about power creep and gripe how the game was going downhill? No. I adapted. I tried new and better strategies. If you want to play one thing and one thing only for years and years, that's completely a personal choice. Especially if you fall behind because of it and have no one to blame but yourself for making that choice instead of expecting others to cater to you. These people know of. Yeah, a lot of the Reddit pages and stuff, like, because no one's like providing links or like the outlets for the dueling nexus and stuff like that. Like, nobody wants to play those like fan games or whatever, even though those are better alternatives and are also free, by the way, to make literally any deck you want and are perfect for testing decks too. You know, nobody wants to use those. Games change and metas change. Things get stronger, things get weaker. That's the nature of PvP games. And I can only speak for myself, like I did above, that coin flips have not been that much of a hassle for me, because I'm not sitting here playing decks where if we had things like a set rotation, we wouldn't be allowed to play them anyway. Only time that really has been an issue is when I face against Clear Mind, and they said, wait, who's using Clear Mind? And they have more negates than I can play through or around. Now that is unhealthy in my opinion. I personally, if I can't stop Kashira from setting up their board, I feel like that's unhealthy, because I usually would have nothing to actually get going. The fuck is Clear Mind? This isn't the... I know there's a field spell. That's not what I'm thinking of, is it? Wait. What's clear mind? I don't think it's referring to the 5D's anime. We have the ability to call energy with one's own heart. Achieving a state of clear mind is required to perform an Excel synchro summon. What? They could do that in Master Duel? In the Japanese dub, Yusei shouts clear mind. In the English one, he says rev it up. Oh man, I wish Azure was here right now. Yo, he's achieving the state of clear mind. He's gonna do it. I think there is like a specific card though that Chloe is referring to here. Rev it up is greater than clear mind. I haven't seen 5Ds, so I can't confirm or deny. Rev it up is the equivalent of like get your game on. Or gotcha. One of the two. Sorry, hang on. But this is a multifaceted issue that I have no definitive answer. It's cool to talk about it. I am once again, my issue isn't your criticisms because we've agreed on a number of things. I just want you to be more respectful about it, but we know that's probably not going to happen. These forums are a minority of a minority. Azura is here, that's Cap. Clear mind is base, understandable. They're all shit call-outs. Nah, gotcha is like, that's pretty good, alright? For real. Carry on. It's a thing, they added it, I think, it's a thing they added, or think about adding, I don't remember. Basically, once you hit master rank, you can queue for another ladder of sorts, where you basically duel for points or something. Didn't interest me enough to care about it, but I am not its intended audience. It's nice to have, since not everyone is being made, so it's not everything made for me, but I still think we should be adding more to bring and keep new and experienced blood that's not all Duel Links, and have them decide for the modern format if it's for them or not. Give people the option instead of taking away the option for others. Why layout different? I was playing Monster Hunter with Catrix, but Catrix is gone now, and I wasn't gonna read this, but now I figured fuck it, I'll read it now so I don't have to read it tomorrow. I agree that needs to be said, but I believe in putting the blame where it needs to be put. The corporation, instead of any fan base and for innocently engaging with any kind of hobby, isn't something to be awarded, especially with how abrasive you've come off. Even though, I know from our previous interactions, it comes from a place of genuine want for things to improve. I don't agree that anyone should be getting redacted for having an opinion. But if complaints are surface level at best, completely subjective, or akin to just throwing stones at anybody and everybody, then no one should be surprised when they don't take it seriously. I'm also surprised this, like, whole thing went on for as long as it did without a moderator stepping in. Because, again, I'd like to make reference. This is the topic. Just so you know. But now we're having a full breakdown on Yu-Gi-Oh! as a subjective form of media, like, at its core. Like, holy shit. It's okay to be frustrated. It's not okay to take out your frustrations on others. I also don't agree with coddling toxic mentalities, like calling people cheaters because you don't understand the rules, or the rules aren't in your favor. If you want to try and make any kind of change, then use resources you can to stage protests or the like. If the problem is too big as you claim it to be, getting people to rally to your side shouldn't be too hard. Or be sensible and feel a game isn't worth your time or effort, then play another that will respect it. Not every game is for everyone, but the best we can do is try to make it as accessible as we can. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also in Plat 5 now, so expect another, like, Plat 5 Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream in the future. I need to get on that. Well, like I said before, the only way to include change is to add more, not take away. Like I said, add more formats like other games do instead of stripping away and taking things away, because a vocal minority doesn't like it. At the end of the day, it's just a game. I know it's a cop-out, but there's no refuting that fact. Wasn't so. Well, can't say I tried. You tried, Chloe. You did your best. I like how this guy came in, he's like, bro, what about dragon rulers? What? Dragon rulers? What? Nah, what? Sorry. And then this guy's fucking yap.
Direction can be wrong too, as is the case here.
You don't like the direction Yu-Gi-Oh is heading in to differentiate itself from like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon? You don't like that, bro? That's okay. Game's not for you then.
Good for you! Buy yourself a lottery ticket while you're at it.
It's not that hard to win going second, my guy. Chuck 3 evenlies in your deck and see what happens. Alright, just see what happens.
The problem isn't needing to adapt. The problem is the meta archetypes are laughably stronger than the archetypes that aren't.
This is not true if you look at rogue archetypes that are equally as strong, if not, can also be somewhat stronger in certain instances. Like, I would say meta archetypes are only as strong as they are, but by a margin that's like, I mean, if you're looking at Snake Eyes, for example, obviously that kind of trumps everything, but that only depends on the person piloting the deck at that point. Like, I've seen the Omni Hero deck set up with other people that just don't seem to use the cards effectively or know what to make when to make it. Like, the fact that that person I versed the other day didn't end on Destroy Phoenix Enforcer and Dark Lore is baffling to me. Like, Jesus Christ. Just build a better deck, mate. Yeah, I want to know what the deck this guy's using. I really want to ask him. I probably might, actually, at the end of this. Like, what deck are you using, my guy? I'm just curious. I really want to know.
If a game has 50 different options and only a handful are strong enough to be playable, that's objectively a balance issue.
Bro, if you're bringing fucking, like, Morphing Jar into current format and being like, why did it get destroyed instead of flipped? What? You're not gonna attack into it? Oh my god. Yes. Oh, simply, I don't know if there's much green on the screen at the moment. I don't know if there's green anywhere, actually. It's all blue. Shit.
Besides, I can only apply that same argument about cards like Mystic Mine or Kaiser Colosseum, which the Yu-Gi-Oh community infamously screeched about instead of adapting.
Alright, bro, there's a big difference between floodgates and just a simple negate, my guy. Like, you just don't play the game if Mystic Mine is up. Like, that's fair. Sure, bro, sure. What, you haven't seen Mimigools, Azurai?
The Mimigools, though. Mimigools.
PvP games change.
Well, by that logic, why even have a ban list? Clearly, it's perfectly fine to have any amount of any cards, whatever, because of the nature of PvP games, after all. Some things get stronger, some things get weaker, but we all need to adapt and sing Kumbaya.
This is the, Azurai, this is the guy, by the way, if you're wondering. Oh, no, simply, this isn't that guy. This is somebody different. Jesus fucking Christ.
Hello.
This is Zephyr, who's, a little interesting, to say the least. He's a little interesting. But in just a completely unrelated thread, Zephyr had, like, this mental breakdown, and I don't know why. Like, I guess they just don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! At its current core. This is also kind of recent, by the way. I think the most recent post was, like, from today. Anyway, sorry. It's cool to talk about. Sorry. What Chloe's referring to here is the power creep in card games as a whole, and what that leads to in general, and that is interesting to talk about. But apparently,
it really isn't. Konami just needs to give the most recent archetypes the Dragon Ruler treatment, and go back to the drawing board when it comes to designing cards.
Yeah, ban every archetype I don't like. Ban them all, fuck it. Myotize. Like, bro, just because you don't like the archetype doesn't mean you necessarily should, like, get it banned, okay? I like Yubel because I like Yubel as a concept. I like Yubel from GX. I think Yubel's pretty fucking cool, alright? I'm using the deck because I like Yubel in some capacity, not because it's like, you know, the meta shit everyone's using over in Japan right now. That hasn't happened yet, because I know that'll happen when, like, Fiendsmith comes out, and then everyone's gonna be nuts all over it, alright? Conflict resolution here. Like, ban every archetype that isn't the one I'm using, and then maybe we'll have a chance. Like, I do agree Snake Eyes should probably have, like, at least something hit. Just one thing. But that's about it. Kashtira is a bit questionable, but I think at this point, if you had the option to side deck certain cards, like if this game was a best of 3, Kashtiras would not be as strong as they are. The only reason why Kashtiras are like annoying and tough to deal with is because you can't just like be like, oh, let me put in like what was the card called? I think it's called Imperial Order that stops people from banishing cards. Like then Kashtiras can't do anything. Then they're useless. Then they're just a bunch of like rank 7s. And then what do you do? This is a meta simp. This is the opposite, simply. This guy is like, he doesn't like meta. He wants to play like Dark Magician. It is nice too. True. Oh, for thingos, yeah. The Mimighouls. Azori, flips are coming back. They're making a comeback, alright? It'll be like a Mimighoul Prediction Princess deck. 2025. More respectful, I'm not gonna have them.
Probably not, considering most of the people in the forums will tell people hand traps are perfectly balanced and counterable while crying about floodgates, even though they're way more vulnerable and easy to counter than a hand trap.
So this is a pretty spicy take. Alright, this one's pretty spicy. I want to ignore everything else he said and just take this one out for a minute. First off, people in this forum aren't like you, Zephyr. They're not like you. But the people who, well, hang on, because I want to say like the people are like the people that are like Zephyr are the toxic people we keep talking about. They're the ones that are the toxic Yu-Gi-Oh fanboys. Meta deck's more powerful. Yeah, more powerful, mate. What this is so funny is it comes across as he's the one using floodgates and not hand traps, and then crying about like shit getting negated because they didn't use a hand trap to stop their opponent. Like, I'm trying to think of the equivalent. I know I said this before, where like back in the day you used to have staple cards that would start to stop your opponent's plays. Like you'd put in Dark Hole, okay? Now the modern day equivalent of like a Dark Hole is like Effect Veiler, okay? Because you want to have that same level of interaction where your opponent doesn't set up anything, but you want that to happen faster than like 3 turns from now. So like, it's better to have hand traps, you know? Like something like a Nibiru, for instance, is basically that Dark Hole, but activating from your hand while your opponent is having a little too much of a happy time summoning their monsters. If you don't like people playing that extra deck, that's a good card for you to use. Alright, just saying. Especially if you have a way to remove it. And especially if you have a way to remove it from your hand before its effect even goes off. Like, that's funny. That's really funny. Yes. Well, simply, he doesn't like the idea of hand traps in general. Even though I would argue that in the modern sense of Yu-Gi-Oh, in order to have, like, if you want your deck to be somewhat competent, you should be running, like, the more modern staples. Similar to how your deck would be made from a million years ago. You can't be using outdated staples nowadays. Shit like Swords of Revealing Light is, like, useless. Why would you use Swords of Revealing Light? Like, just use something better, please. Hand traps are a way at getting something better. Now, a lot of people would be like, oh, I can't believe my one starter got ashed. This is where you also play stuff like Called By and Crossout, in the off chance that maybe, and also, I don't know, Called By is limited to 2. I can't believe the amount of times it was in my opening hand going second. All those times the other day, or messing about. Like, that's a bit fucked, but that's a story for another day, alright? More importantly, there are, like, countering the hand traps are the point of getting rid of the hand traps. Like, I know there's the argument to be made where, oh, so you get rid of the toxic shit by using the toxic shit, and it's like, they're just good, bro. If you don't like Snake Eyes, just add an Ash Blossom and stop them from using their shit. Alright, that's it. Don't like IP, don't like Flamebird, use an Effect Veiler, fuck it. Don't like him summoning, chuck in a Maxi. Alright, it's fine. It's fine, bro. Whatever. Floodgates are just annoying, alright? Especially Summon Limit, for example. Summon Limit's a bit rough. Because, I think the only reasonable way to get rid of Summon Limit early on is make Nightmare Phoenix. Oh, no, actually, you can't make Nightmare Phoenix because that requires 2 things. Never mind. You can't even do that. You just have to have Spell and Trap removal, otherwise you're fucking shit out of luck. Sorry, what's this one?
Wow! So it's only for the pinnacle of meta slaves. 10 out of 10 decision. Thanks, Konami.
I mean, this is actually a relevant thing to say because I personally don't like that the rating duel system that they have is part of Master 1 and not its own separate category. Because I think it's kind of neat, but I mean, I'm not gonna fucking grind to Master 1 just to check it out. That's useless. Especially considering you can't D rank after Master 1. I don't want to go that high. I like Plat 5. Wait, hang on. Is it writing stuff and script stuff? Oh, you mean like... Okay. Not like the actual... what they did in Season 1 in terms of like rule sets and stuff like that. Or, I don't know if those are considered wrong, because at the time there wasn't really any rules anyway. Sorry.
Anyway, the issue with adding new stuff is that the new stuff is consistently temporary or poorly balanced. We should sort out the issues currently in the game before adding more problems to the pile.
Have you played like any game that has like title updates, like Monster Hunter for example? Also, how topical. Because in order to keep people interested and keep playing the game, the new shit has to be better than the old shit, or at least on the same level as the old shit. Alright? Which I think is why Konami made something like the Vissus Starfrost, similar to Fallen of Albus. Like, they create these like sub-archetypes that encompass a bigger archetype as a whole, and I think the reason for that is to keep those particular archetypes on a similar playing field somewhat, with their own unique playstyles, of course. Which is how they're able to like pump out a whole bunch of cards but still keep it in the same like ballpark, even if Kashtira is annoying to deal with. Make this guy explode. Yeah, could you imagine if like the Destiny 2 updates were just kept getting worse and worse and there was never actually anything better than the base game? Could you imagine? Bad liner, I hate Joey. Oh, that's rough, Mopey. That's like watching CinemaSins though. Don't watch CinemaSins, okay? He's a weird guy.
And frankly, I wouldn't recommend anyone Master Duel over Duel Links, which is a shame considering they couldn't even be bothered to properly format Duel Links for PC. I haven't played Duel Links on PC, I don't know what it's like. Holy fuck. Blame needs to put corporations at abrasive. Anything's want to improve. I am very tempted to simply reply, that's because the fan base is retarded.
Alright, you're gonna... Really? All of them? Every single person that plays Yu-Gi-Oh?
But that's not entirely accurate.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. But why would you even bring it up then?
My issue with the fan base is the majority have an ass-backwards view on balance.
Yeah, the boomers. I know, it's crazy, right? The boomers have such a backwards-ass way of looking at the game.
The earlier hand traps versus floodgates example, people having an issue with stun, mill, control, while being perfectly fine with decks that summon 4 to 5 extra deck monsters and have 2 to 3 Omni Negates in the fields at all times.
Because most people can play through 2 to 3 Omni Negates. What are you talking about? Bring out the retard card. Yeah, he's not going to say it though, simply. He's not going to say it, but he could have said it. Good thing he didn't say it.
Well, I've even seen some people unironically argue that having a large amount of playable decks is a bad thing.
That's a weird thing. I mean, I don't know where you heard that comment, my guy. I haven't seen that one before. I've read a lot of shit and I haven't seen that comment at all. Is this projection? Is that what this is? All the card issues and dueling issues. Seeing like ruling issues from like season 1 would be kind of interesting because there would have been a lot of stuff. To unalive himself. He did. That's how that's how Kaiba like wins duels, alright? He has to unalive himself. That's how he does it. I'm gonna get this man's breathing.
So it wouldn't be inaccurate to say I have a bone to pick with the community itself, as well as considering the Yu-Gi-Oh player stereotype is shockingly accurate.
Yeah, the boomer one? Yeah, I know what you're getting at, my guy. You're literally that stereotype right now. I can't believe it.
Although, in fairness, there are some specific individuals that are respectable.
Who? Me?
That stud guy called Garbage was alright, and had a good assessment on the game when I saw him on the forums. as well as the friends that I enjoy playing with. Enjoy playing a game of some actual Yu-Gi-Oh with. Yeah, bro, play with your friends. That's fine. You don't have to play the meta PvP ranked bullshit if you don't want to. Also, who's this garbage guy he's talking about? Of course, like, his comments are the first one that fucking come up. Bro, who's the garbage guy? I want to know who the garbage man is. Oh, come on, please. Who is he? It's far beyond that. He hasn't touched enough grass in his life. I think the stun player he's talking about, it's not Deathseer, is it? Is that the guy you're talking about? Okay, I'm starting to think the garbage guy he's talking about is like that Rush guy. What's his name? Rush something? Where he plays like stun or whatever because he just hates people. The stun guy called Garbage. I don't know if that's right. Interview him on stream. Yeah, I'll give him a friend request for you, Buttersnuffs. Hang on, let me highlight that so I don't lose my spot. Whoa. Really don't want to lose that. This is a big yap. Oh, I have to click on his name? Fuck. Hang on. Oh, his profile's private, just so you guys know. There we go. Oh, thank goodness it's still highlighted. A lolcow interview. That would be interesting. Sometimes I am curious about people's opinions on, like, what they think of the game and, like, just what decks they play and why they're not having fun with the game. Because I would imagine it's entirely a deck issue. Like, man, I play a pure stun deck and my opponent had Harpy's Feather Duster. I guess I just lose. Like, fuck. Other than that, I'd be hard-pressed to mention that there are even notable... mention people that are even notable. You, I guess. Though, only insofar... Why... What? Is this a slang? Is this a slur? As I see your name often in the forums. What about Grodora and Papa Shekels? They're in, like, every forum, bro. What about me? What about me? You notice me? Senpai, please? Buttersnuffs, I feel like in order to post on the forum threads, you should provide a tag saying, I hate Yu-Gi-Oh! P.S. I play stun. Like, that's what... That needs to be like a little tag at the end of everybody's like post, just to get some filler idea of like where this hate is coming from. Because like, I genuinely want to know. There was one guy I asked and he did respond to me and I'm so thankful for that. He was talking about not liking Engage, but the deck that he was running was Chimera. Chimera something. And I'm like, that's pretty good. Like, it seems you just have an issue with only Sky Strikers and that's it. Like nothing else, and that's fine. Alright? Whatever. But like, at least he's playing a real deck. I mean, that's why I'm so curious about this guy. But complaints are surface level at best. Completely subjective, akin to throwing stones at anybody. Who is this a comment from? What? And if complaints are basic observations? You'd be frustrated. Take your frustration on others. Oh, this is from Chloe. Yeah, okay. Well, I agree. Save for those people are partially to blame for your frustrations. At which point, it's reasonable. Okay, but do keep in mind that the people who are causing your frustrations are not in this forum, by the way. If you're upset at somebody taking too long to do their turns, they're not in this forum discussion. They're just a random Japanese player that you've probably never seen before. Probably not right to group together the entire Yu-Gi-Oh community and be like, fuck you guys! And then be like, oh, well, not all of you guys, specifically those guys. And not specifically all those guys, just like one or two of them. It's like, you don't say that, mate.
No, but, you know, in your own words, the fan base is retarded. I understand. I understand. Besides cheaters, understand the rules.
That's fair. Though calling someone a meta slave for using whatever broken crutch deck is trendy is just calling a spade a spade.
I don't... Again... I know KBJ mentioned this, but like...
Am I a meta slave for liking you, Bell?
Like, I don't know. I'm like that guy that says like, hello, I'm a fan of the OG anime as well as GX. Like, I like GX. I like you, Bell. What? The way I see it, by the way, is the equivalent of like Dark Magician. Yes? God damn it. So, somebody who's a fan of like Dark Magician and was so excited when Dark Magician became its own archetype and not just like 2 or 3 cards that have Dark Magician in the name. Like, having an entire archetype dedicated to your favorite Yugi card is like a dream come true. And now that Jaden has his favorite card, Yubel, become, well, I say favorite, it wasn't his favorite until like fucking season 4, but like his card become like a whole deck, like its own unique deck. It's like, wow, I get to play Yubel finally. And then being called a meta cunt for using that deck, like, well, all right then, shit. I guess I just suck. Fuck. I'll go back to playing Sky Strikers then, I see. If you want to try and make any kind of change, resources,
Because those totally working corporations totally listen, then why are you even complaining here in the first place? Why are you even, like, here? Why do you even exist? The thing is, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a great game riddled with issues, and I do like it to some extent.
Okay.
Which is why I'm still here in this dumpster fire rather than playing the game with more competent devs or a community actually more reasonable.
Well, that's fine. Well, you've said your opinions. Go back to playing the game now. Fuck. Why are we here? What's this?
Well, like I said before, I want to include changes that add more, not take away. Like I said, add more formats to other games instead of stripping away. Wait.
This is... hang on, isn't this a... You fucked it up, bro! You fucked up the quote. You put a space here.
You're right on it being a cop-out. All I'm going to say is, if they add another format, it better give XP and gems. Redacted, sick of ranked and events being the only game modes that are actually rewarding.
You're unreasonable, yeah. I mean, that's... This is the reason why, Chloe brought up the idea that all card games have the same issue. It's not just Yu-Gi-Oh! They all suffer from it. Papa Shekels, don't worry, I'm here for the essay. It's okay, Papa Shekels. Discussion forum, and I was going to discuss. I mean, they are discussing. They're definitely discussing. That's... Whew, hang on. Before I get to this one, 29, 30. It's almost over. It's almost over. It's almost over. Or do I have to read the rest of it? I think we got the idea. Okay. I think we got it. Oh my fuck. Could only have just stopped playing. He can't stop playing. He has friends. Shit. Maybe you shouldn't have friends that play Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see, COD haters still playing. Okay. Yeah, the direction Yu-Gi-Oh! Is heading in is wrong. That's your opinion. While not perfect, I personally like the direction the game has gone in. The events revolving around the 2010s and early on were so boring and maybe absolutely miserable. I think that's why people didn't want to play the Edison format tryout thing. Good for you, Bites of Blood, Jacob. My point was, not everyone has to resort to meta in order to win and be good at this game. And I'm saying that this is the only... Sorry. And saying that this is the only way to actually enjoy the game is factually just wrong. This is a correct statement. Problem learning to adapt. There have always been outliers in terms of power in terms of video games. Doesn't make sense the people who use the best... doesn't make sense. The people who use the best, the scum of the earth, or are the scum of the earth, just introduce set rotations so you won't have a choice but to use the 10 anyway. I can't argue against the Mystic Mind comparison. The only thing I can say is that cards that slow the game to a halt is boring to play against and boring to watch in order to get a cheesy low effort win. But that in all of itself is subjective. Didn't play those trial duels? Okay. It was alright, it was a blast from the past, alright? It's for the boomers to finally enjoy the game somewhat. Stop being rhetorical here. Just because the ban list doesn't cater to what you want it to do, doesn't mean it isn't doing what it's intended to do. I do agree with stuff that flies under the radar too long, too often. Oh, speaking of ban lists, Azurai, you should have heard Katrix's reaction earlier. Because I was talking to him like, yeah, the TCG ban list is coming out in August, and he's like, wait, isn't it July? Why isn't there a new ban list update this month? Why is it next month? And I had to tell him the whole thing. So funny. Shit, and a waste of time. It's a waste of resources too from making like fucking black wings again. Jesus. Far too often. Money over ban list. Yeah, he had to figure it out the hard way, is alright. He got it. Was the design cards? It is numerous things to consider, such as investments, competitive player base versus casual player base, people who enjoy how things are versus people who don't. Finding a one-size-fits-all solution at this point is going to be difficult, if not outright impossible, under a new master rule completely. Sorry, unless a new master rule completely changes the game for better or for worse. Like Master Rule 4, that was great. A hand trap can win you the game if you are unlucky. So this is funny because I have one just by using Cold Buy. It's the only, like, bro drops Ash, I Cold Buy, he quits. What an easy win. Fucking hell. You wouldn't have much of a problem with them if people didn't, if people used decent decks that are resilient enough. Floodgates win you the game outright because they stop core functions that the deck plays off of. Water Statue completely stops Thunder Dragons. There is only one that stops core type strategies. Look, sorry, there can be only one. I forgot this is a card, right? Stops core type strategies. Oh no, Ash Blossom stopped your one search. Whatever shall you do? Only 5 hand traps. Only 5 hand traps is alright. No more than 5. 5 is too many. Also, I don't know if you saw it. I'll put a pin in this for a second. Because it was in the same breath as the fucking decks that summon 4 to 5 extra deck monsters. Azora, you better not be summoning more than 5 extra deck cards. All right, that's too many. 5 is too many. Or have more than 3 Omni Negates. Okay, you're playing Mementos? No. That's too many Omni Negates. Okay. Oh wait, sorry, that's not even an Omni Negate. That's just a monster negate, right? Oh, I summoned 6. That's too many, mate. The game's broken. Fuck. Frankly, as someone who has played more than enough of Duel Links, last I played it was literally a pay-to-win... Sorry. Last I played it was literally a pay-to-win slop that since then has basically become watered-down core experience of the main game. I mean, that's fair. I loaded it up one time to see what it was like. I didn't like it. I uninstalled it immediately. Going for a long time. Fuck. It's a trap and hand traps. Oh my god. Oh my god. Creating itself is also stereotypes. Well, at least I got an answer out of you. I'm not against you on taking on the idea of this game having balance issues. My problem is, I have yet to find a handful of games where 100% of players agree that absolutely everything is perfectly unbalanced. Oh, sorry, everything is perfectly balanced. Yeah, everything. What if complaints or observations? Don't be surprised or upset when people respond with your basic retorts, or with basic retorts, like skill issue, for example. Which point is unreasonable. There is an old saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah, Confucius said that, I believe. But if you choose both, that's on you. It's your life. I just don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy going about it that way is all. Circling somebody meta slave using broken crutch deck. Broken crutch deck, by the way. I can use that same kind of energy calling new players scrubs because the decks they choose to use aren't good enough to compete with the current meta. But that doesn't fix anything, does it? I think a spade, mate. Just get good, bro. They mauled at it. Just get a better deck, bro. Just use better cards. Not that hard. I'm Confucius, I said that. That was me. I made that quote. Oh, totally listen. Maybe not Konami, but there have been several times where the community has stood together to try and get answers or see change. It's not impossible. I'm assuming if Master Rule 4 was a community outrage that they had to change specifically. Because I know it was made in order to promote links, but there weren't enough links to make the game, like, playable. It was pretty bad. I said it before, don't let said corporations dictate how you enjoy your game. You don't have to play Master Duel of all things. Yeah, just stop playing the game, bro, please. Zephyr, you don't need to play this. Not gonna lie, I'm sick of it too. At the end of the day, please remember I am not your enemy on this. I know for a fact, when I have these conversations, I'm not going to change minds. Especially not overnight. I just like to provide different viewpoints and speak from personal experience. As I know, I am not that good at the game, as I am, for all intents and purposes, a casual player. At the very least, I want people to have the ability to agree and disagree and to leave the conversation amicably, which is why you nitpicking some of my points and saying you're right defeats the purposes of me doing these. We ultimately agree this game is unbalanced. Anyone who says it isn't is just wrong. If they decide to make drastic changes, that might end up making everyone but the people who weren't even into the game to begin with unhappy just to suit the vocal minority. Who's to say what will happen to the longevity of the game? I sure don't. Whew. Jesus. Okay. All right. Whew. I got through it. It's over. But yes. It's impossible. It goes against the natural order. Fucking hell. What is that emote? What the fuck? Because objectivity doesn't work when people say that everything is subjective, including balance. It's an interesting thing to say. Oh, Jesus Christ.
How is this any better when things have gotten exponentially less interactive?
This is a extremely hot take, by the way. Azurai, you've played modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Do you think the game is less interactive than it was like a million years ago? What do you think of this take? As a modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Gamer, alright? Yeah, it makes sense. This game is saying this completely wrong.
That is completely false. I made a B-Trooper deck that worked well once, so clearly meta is not an issue.
You know Rogue exists, right? Like Rogue is a thing, right?
It's not an argument when it's not applicable to 90% of decks. Besides, how many hand traps are you running in Mr. Adapt?
This comes across as him not using hand traps, period. Like, you're telling me Zephyr over here doesn't use hand traps at all? Come on, mate. What? Come on. How are you playing the game like at all? Thank you, Fusion Destiny. Can't deck build. What a comeback, though. How many hand traps are you running in it, Mr. Adapt? Yo, show me your deck list, bro. How many hand traps you got? Zephyr, I want to see your deck list. I'm really curious. Just what's your favorite deck? What do you use the most? I want to know. I genuinely want to know and just see what you got in it. I bet some Unlimited's in there. Endings amicably? Fuck. If you use a broken
crutch in a game to compensate you for being a redacted player, you're going to be called and treated like a redacted player. If to use your own fallacious reasoning, that's how games have always been.
I don't think using tier limits, makes you a redacted player, alright? He's, I don't know, Snake Eyes maybe. That was that one guy who really fucking hated Snake Eyes. Just, like, blasted them. Fuck. Pottersnuffs, the first thing I'm actually probably going to put at the end of this thread is I wanna say, what deck do you use, my guy? Please, I'm actually curious. Stop using good decks. Mystic Mind Comparison.
Which is ironic considering the current state of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where most decks spend their time playing redacted solitaire, while you get to watch as they build an entire board is effectively the same thing.
Every deck is solitaire. Dude, I like my Sky Striker solitaire where I put down 2 cards and in my turn. That's my favorite kind of solitaire. I like Yubel solitaire, that's good solitaire. You just summon like 3 Yubels, maybe end your turn. That's it. It's fucking wonderful.
I was pointing out how dumb the logic of that nature of PvP games argument was, because balancing needs to be done at some point. Else, why even have a ban list? And it's not that I don't cater to what... Sorry. And it's not that it doesn't cater to what I want. It's that the choices of what goes on and off the ban list are nonsensical.
Completely nonsensical. Absolutely outrageous. Yeah, like, why is Last Will on the ban list? Fucking ridiculous. Use a shit gun and then cry. Yeah, use knife only in COD, please, and then we'll see. Then we'll see what happens.
Take the most recent one, for example. Why did they unlimit Kashtira Birth when Kashtira's been a laughably overtuned archetype since launch? They hit Kaiser Coliseum and Summon Limit, which only further proves my point that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community has an irrational hatred of floodgates. Why else would they hit floodgates instead of, oh, well, I don't know, Max C, which is the 90% usage rate?
So, Master Duel, or Konami in general, does have like a general understanding of what are the most usable cards in the game. I'm sure Max C's time is coming. It's gonna happen eventually. But like, mate, it's just a game. Master Duel is different to like real life TCG. It's its own little thing. Like, it's so hard to talk about ban lists now because there are different ban lists depending on the version of the game that you're playing. It's not universal. So like, oh yeah, Max C's totally fine here, but if you want to go out to your locals and play Max C, it's banned. Like, alright. Yeah. Knife only is the perfect comparison. It's the only way.
If they piss away their money to chase meta, they frankly deserve it. The community versus casual player argument is based on the presumption that it's a zero-sum situation, where it isn't. And I'd be willing to bet a majority of the people who say they prefer how things are now are either playing meta or running at least 4 to 5 hand traps.
Mate, I know I said this like 3 seconds ago, I'm gonna say it again. Just because I'm playing Yubel doesn't mean I like, you know, really am up to date with the meta. Alright, I just like Yubel. Okay. When you play 3 maxes into the same thing. Fucking hell. Let me show you the next pack in a while. Like, I'm surprised Duel is considerably cheap. Way cheaper than Snake Eyes. Holy fuck. Like, in comparison? Fucking hell. TCG ban, that's not surprising. I do wonder if, like... I mean... The Yubel trap card is basically Super Poly, but I do wonder if they're just going to limit Super Poly. It's at 3, and I know it was banned before, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put it to like 2. Like, no, not that everyone... I don't think people run 3 Super Polys, though. I think 3 might be too many Super Polys. You don't want to, like, draw a whole hand of Super Polys. That's fucking useless. I mean, that point is a personal preference anyway. Yubel was, to be honest. I mean, yeah. Like, seeing the fact that Unchained doesn't really need Super Poly is hilarious. That it's just strong enough without Super Poly. Like, you don't have to suck up your opponent's monsters just to play the game. Sorry.
Most decks only have 1 search.
What decks are you playing, my guy? I remember now. I'm really curious, you know? Like, you got Reinforcement of the Army, like E-Emergency Call, 1 for 1, like, you got plenty of ways to search. You got Stratos, A Hero Lives, you know, like, Cross Crusader? What are you searching with?
Meanwhile, most floodgates have no protection and can be destroyed with a spell. The way you try to spin that redacted only makes it look like you've never played Yu-Gi-Oh before.
That's a hot take. Yo, I MST'd your floodgate. What are you gonna do, bro? What? Stop fucking up the quote. Wait, is this a quote? Yeah, this is a quote. This is Chloe's quote. Did you not? What is this then?
Master Duel is also pay to win slop.
I mean, Azurai in chat can refute this right now, in fact. Actually.
Except, instead of being a watered-down core experience with a main game, it's a redacted knockoff of Duel decks. This catered towards the kind of people that embody the Yu-Gi-Oh play. Hang on. This is a... Did you forget to respond? Hold up. My guy, you have a typo in your report here. This is a quote from you in a previous post. Like, what is this? Should this not be here? This is you're recycling your own points. Stop. It makes it difficult for me. Let's see what answer you know. Well, obviously, there's no game that's 100% balanced. That's not my point. My point is Yu-Gi-Oh has what? 50 archetypes and hundreds of cards?
Maybe a little bit more than 100.
Thousands even? Maybe a little more than thousands. And yet, almost every person in the game uses the same 4 to 5 archetypes, with the occasional player playing something slightly less common.
Yeah, like Zark. Yeah, you see some of those around maybe sometimes. Cardians, they exist. That's solitaire. But like, only 4 to 5 archetypes, by the way. And just 50 archetypes? It's a pretty low ball to say 50 archetypes. There's a couple. Only use 5 archetypes. I want this guy to just play like five different games of Yu-Gi-Oh! And just count the amount of archetypes that are being used in those 5 games. And not including his own. I'm just curious. It's funny you bring that up, KBJ, because thinking about that too, it's just like, yeah, why don't people use like the basic bitch like Kimura sword and shield when hunting monsters? That's weird. What the fuck? They have so many other sword and shields to use from, yet people only use like the same 3. What the fuck? Weird. No weighing. I don't actually see no weighing, surprisingly. I guess it's not in there. Oh no. No weighing. It's not there. Use knife in COD now. You just use the knife, bro. Just use the knife. I think this guy comes across as somebody who uses a Dark Magician deck. Like, being for real, that's what I kind of think. And even then, like, you have a bunch of searches with Dark Magician. You've got, like, the field spell. You've got fucking magic circle. You got, I don't know, some other bullshit. Rod or whatever. You got those. People will ash what they know what to ash. Sorry, don't be sorry.
Well, when said observation is undeniably true, please excuse for treating said people like morons.
That's just a deck building issue, my guy. I'm sorry. Like, people can try to help you out. Like, you can come to this forum and be like, wow, I can't play the game. I suck. What's going on? This is terrible. My deck isn't good enough. And people be like, skill issue. Instead of responding like a fucking clown, you can then be like, okay, what should I change to my deck to make it better? You know? That's something you can, that's an option. That's a viable option in life.
Alcohol is unhealthy too, but it certainly improves this game.
Well, if you're losing a bunch of games, I think I know why. But, you know. I think they fixed it.
No, but the point was the meta slaves are being treated as such. If you want to be an obnoxious redacted that ruins the game for everyone else, don't be surprised when everybody hates you.
Bro, just because I used Duel to attack into your monster doesn't mean like you can be mad about it, alright? Just don't put monsters down. Just sounding like an asshole. This guy isn't making any friends. It's kind of sad. He fucking dies. The only way to enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh is to be drunk. Bro's gonna fucking get alcohol poisoning from playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Please. Please stop now. Fucking hell. You wouldn't drink and play, would you? You don't drink and drive. You wouldn't fucking drink in Kashtira, yeah? Angry Birds movie gift, fucking hell. It's possible.
Are those directed towards Konami? No? Then it's irrelevant.
Again, why are you here? For real. Oh, this is that funny quote.
The thing is, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a great game, riddled with issues, and I do like it to some extent, which is why I'm still here in this dumpster fire rather than playing a game with more competent devs or a community that's more reasonable. I put it in bold so you can read it better. Hope that helps.
Yeah, my reading comprehension is so bad. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. Maybe make it a header next time. I know you can do that. I've seen people do it. You wouldn't net deck a meta deck. I want somebody to come in with like a tongue-twisting riddle being like, how many net decks does a net decker deck if a net deck could net decks? Like, I'm curious to know the answer to that question. It'd be funny. Stop fucking up the quote!
I've seen the old, well, I'm not one of them. I just happen to agree with everything they say shtick before, so I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. But I will say you're at least not as bad as I'd expect from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community.
What's that mean? Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean? Can you elaborate? Is everybody else just retarded? Is that where you're going with this? My argument is destroyed. Yes? Oh, fuck. Damn it. He's got me with that one. Immediately nail it. Oh, Butter Snuffs. It's because that plays on loop in my head consistently. I always think about that. I always think about net decking decks from a net decker. It's just in my brain. Again, you fucked it up so hard. I don't even know who's commenting anymore. Supposed to be doing these.
That's incredibly idealistic. It'd be incredulous if it weren't frankly totally believable given everything else.
What do you mean? Like, Chloe is actually trying to help you in some capacity to have some kind of like even playing field, all right? Just trying to reason with you. And you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm not buying that shit. Fuck you. What the fuck, man? Looking in the game's unbalanced.
You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. If the game changes, someone will inevitably be upset. I bet the silent majority are disgruntled and tired of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Has become.
Yeah, the silent majority. Literally everybody else who isn't saying anything right now.
How many people have quit playing because of the game's current state?
I don't know. All of the boomers, I guess. You probably should.
How many people only play with friends whom they have a gentleman's agreement with?
I mean, bro, I don't have a gentleman's agreement with K-Trix or anybody else I play with. We just play whatever the fuck we want. You better believe I'm going to be using Yubel in the July thingy he wants to do, alright? We don't have an agreement on that.
How many simply soldier on, trying to wring some fun out of this garbage?
Me? I like playing in Plat 5. It's fun.
It can't be a small number, especially when the number especially when that's a number that grow as time goes on and more people have had enough. People's patience have limits. It's only a matter of time would run out of it. I mean, like, the people who are playing right now, I don't think are, you know, gonna leave. The Zephyr guy who's upset with the game is not gonna leave. Like, do you have a gentleman's agreement with your friends? Do you also soldier on? Is this self-projection, by the way? It sounds like it. Crystal Beasts only. No hand traps, please, bro. No ashes in your deck. No max Cs. TCG ban list only. Bro, come on. Is this the Armstrong speech? Oh, fuck. It just keeps going. Simply, it just keeps fucking going. Chloe. Oh. There's only 2 posts left. There's only 2. Jesus. Alright. Crystal Beast is good. Nah, KBJ, they're a GX deck. They're terrible. Anything in GX is terrible. Basically Cloudians. So,
let me get this straight. You're going to use the idea that the game has gotten exponentially less interactive, and in the same breath talk about how bad hand traps, arguably the most versatile and universal forms of interaction, are, and sit there and have the audacity to justify Mystic Mine and similar cards that actively stop interactions entirely from happening? You want to sit there and say some mess like, if you use a broken crutch card to compensate for you being a redacted player, you're gonna get called out and be treated like a redacted player. But sit there and not think floodgates are more disruptive and more volatile and more of a crutch than a handful of staples? Oh, no, I was denied one search doesn't compensate to shutting an entire deck down because of one random card. And no matter how much you try to argue against it, no, it doesn't compare. No matter how fragile it may seem, because hand traps are just as easily played around and stopped, like, you know, Called By and Crossout and Maxi to Ash. Cause that's the one thing you fail to mention. Yeah, a search could stop a play with a bad hand, or a lower powered deck, but floodgates outright massacre them, cause they have less tools to deal with them. And before you even start, yes, Maxi is a problem, get rid of it. I'm surprised Zephyr didn't, like, you know, argue against this one. I haven't read the post below this, so I don't even know what the fuck happens after this. I'd ask you to make it make sense, but at this point, I don't care anymore for you to cause. I don't remember. It's late. Well, it's not really that late, but like I'm getting fucking blasted. All right, I'm running out of breath here. Mystic Mine. I feel like the first thing that came out of Zephyr's mouth was like some shit about Mystic Mine. It's just still up. Bro, Mystic Mine, nothing wrong, alright? Bring Mystic Mine back. It's so good, bro. Please. Yeah, imagine that reality, Buttersnuffs. Imagine. I'd ask you to make it make sense, but at this point, I don't care anymore for you to cause... I don't care anymore for you. There's something missing here. But at this point, I don't care anymore. Because you will jump through any hoops in order to prove yourself right. I don't know what this is here for.
Tucked in with his Choxy milk.
Choxy milk?
We can't have our precious master having any nightmares. Peaceful slumbers.
So I'm having lots of nightmares right now about Mystic Mine.
Our dear viewer Buttersnuffs surely knows what master needs, doesn't he? Oh dear, isn't this making me wish I could watch over him myself?
Well, you can't do that already, Sugar? Oh, that's fair. To sit there and say my anecdote is completely false is just straight up deflecting in order to continue your to suit your own narrative. I can only speak for myself that rogue strategies have a place if you know what you're doing. I have also gone on record and said that even stun has a place in the game, despite the popular opinion being otherwise. Also, I read what you said. It doesn't change what I said. That's up to us as a community to dictate how we want to play. We have different official formats. We have fan-made formats. Just not any that are supported by Master Duel. Save for just the one we have. We don't have to default for the shiny button that is right in front of us. Take some personal responsibility in how you choose to engage your hobbies. On that note, I have come to realize something. As you sit there and act altruistic for the sake of the silent majority, when you have absolutely no data to prove if it's even a majority, and in the same breath, spit and curse at anyone who even remotely disagrees with you. This is something weird that he did kind of bring up, I don't know why. You act like you just want justice for these people. But what I think is that you're instead using it as justification to shield your own toxic behavior. Wow. Damn. Chloe just fucking read through the entire curtain. What the fuck? Just pulled that shit right out of him. Holy fuck. That was a mistake. Oh. Fucking hell. You sit there and say,
No, but the point was the meta slaves are being treated as such. If you want to be obnoxious for attacking the rules against everyone else, we hate you.
Which is ironic. You come in, act volatile, and when you get people acting aggressive towards you, and when you get people acting aggressive towards you, I'm sorry, Chloe. This one's getting to me. Aggressive towards you. Back you in. People are acting aggressive towards you in turn, back to you in turn. You use that as fuel and more reasons to keep doing what you're doing as a cycle of self-serving bias. Jesus Christ. Back you in goes hard. Oh! Sorry. No, because I feel like there should be another in here. Acting aggressive towards you, back you in. And like I feel like there should be a conjunction here somewhere. Somewhere in this. Because, and in turn, use that as fuel for more regions to justify things and stuff. Like, there's something missing here. I don't know what it is, though. I'm not good at English. There needs to be something there. You're willing to, you're willing to agree with anyone no matter how wrong or unreasonable someone is, just on the basis that they have a problem with this game. Because all you care about is pushing your narrative, even going as far to say you are right. Because you are right. Like this right here. Because objectivity doesn't work when people think that everything is subjective, including balance. Spoiler alert. How balanced a game is subjective. Oh my god. Talk about tongue twisters. How balanced a game is a subjective topic, period. You say it's not for you, but continue to waste your time being mad and pointing the blame at everyone else. But yourself, from the way you play to how you interact with other people around you. This is not some gotcha moment. Oh, dude, a Judai reference? No way. Is? I don't know. I like commas, man. Maybe I overuse commas. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's my crutch. My meta crutch is that I use too many commas. I was probably the biggest person on your side that the game has issues and needs fixing, but I'm not daft enough to sit here and blindly agree with you because this game doesn't need an echo chamber. It needs an in-depth look in order to make as many people happy. Not just the people who solely deem worthy to be happy, but yet you continue to not treat me as an individual who wants to see a healthy change that speaks from experience, but see me as an opponent to your shallow ideals. Not on how this game should be. Okay, I'm starting to get a little lost. Again, I've read too much now. I think I'm losing it. I am only doing what you have continued to do to me. Take everything I have said in bad faith. At least what I'm doing has more basis from your own words instead of you simply painting me as a metaphorical boogeyman. Oh, that's funny. Unintended. So after this post, that won't be an issue anymore, I promise you. I am, for all intents and purposes, a neutral party. I love talking about this game, which is why I continue to have these conversations with you. But if this game, or Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, were to announce its shutdown tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset about it and move on to greener pastures. Cause at the end of the day, like I said, it's just a game. And if it's shut down as a result of Konami continuing to beat around the bush and not cater to their casual audience, that's on them. And you can come in here and gloat and be like, well, I told y'all so. All you want after the fact. But at the end of the day, we all lose players, enthusiasts and hobbyists. But until then, continue to queue up or log off, because we aren't Konami. We don't have control over the ban list, because if we did, Maxi would have been long gone, along with the floodgates you continue to bat for. Until then, continue to blame the community for not catering to you. And until then, keep on keeping on. The one true thing you have said that I 100% agree with you is this. Everyone's paycheck has a limited amount of time with it right now. Wow, that's an interesting line to take. Nice quote. And I've run out of mine. But knowing you will just take the easy way out and just say I am stupid But knowing you will just take the easy way out and just say I am stupid and that I don't know what I'm talking about or whatever. I'm done, Lamau. This is like something Deathseer would retort with. Deathseer would take this one quote and then be like, ha, well, you thought I was gonna insult your intelligence. I wasn't gonna do that, and then just not say anything and then move on. Oh no, Buttersnuffs, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't become a Rush player. Don't do it. No. I don't know what it is about the Rush cards, but I kind of don't like the card design. The art is pretty cool. I like the you know, for example, the new hero card that's in it. I like that. I like that kind of art style. But I don't like the cards themselves, like what they look like. I think they look a bit silly. Rush cards were based. Yeah, and then they made fucking Madball Man for some reason. I don't know why they did that. Much prefer it. Maybe it's because I'm too nostalgic for the, you know, standard Yu-Gi-Oh card design that it doesn't hit me. Maybe it is more like, what's what I'm looking for? Like, it accommodates for what the card does a lot more than the current Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Because, like, I think current Yu-Gi-Oh card design suffers from a fact of, like, the text box is too small for effects that are, like, massive paragraphs. And, like, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by having such a small box for text back when, like, the text was never really a big problem. And now it kind of is, and they just have to deal with it. Both are great. I like the art. Like, Rush art is pretty cool. I don't know if, I probably haven't looked at enough Rush cards, but something I like about the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG art is the full card art, where it's like, the whole card is just like the artwork for the card. I think that shit is insane. I like that. There was that one guy who designs cards like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would like to have a card from that one guy, but I don't know if he still makes cards like that. But they look neat. Imagine getting a flame wingman that looks like that. That'd be fucking wild. Break out of the cardboard. Oh, there is? Oh my god. That's pretty cool. While playing Deep Rock. Simply, I'm glad it can be entertaining. We're getting close to the end though, because this is Zephyr's retort. And after Zephyr's big post, I'm gonna pass the fuck out. Well, I'll post something and then I'll pass the fuck out. Oh, you know what I should do? I don't know if this would be worth it or not, but I should probably like highlight this whole yap, this whole section that's happened for this thread, and just like put it in the comments here. Just be like, yo, guys, that was a nice little like back and forth. I loved that. Just like a cool Yu-Gi-Oh duel. It was a nice back and forth. I appreciate it. Sorry. Anyway.
Because that's straight up false. Literally any back row destruction will get rid of a floodgate. Hand traps can't be dealt with outside of another hand trap negating it, or a negate you already had in the field. Zephyr, the point here was interaction with your opponent. That's what the problem was here. It was interaction. Not everyone is going to have back row destruction, and especially if you're running summon limit, no one's going to have a searchable MST that they can just get their hands on instantly. The problem, like, if you use anti-spell fragrance, what in the fucking Christ are Sky Striker players supposed to do? Huh? Like what? What are you doing? It's that. Let's play 8-ball. Fucking hell. The comment this was referring to was interaction. Not the fact that floodgates are so easy to remove and hand traps aren't. Hand traps aren't really that much of a problem, and most people are running those comparatively to like spell and trap destruction. This is another one of those comments where I feel like this guy has played a lot of old school Yu-Gi-Oh and not current school Yu-Gi-Oh, because with the amount of hand traps that people run in order to... Okay, so let me see if I can try to piece this together. So you make X deck, okay? Let's say Dark Magicians, for example, okay? Just to make this easy to understand. You will then, in order to combat your opponent from playing Blue Eyes, okay? Again, trying to make this as simple as possible. In order to combat your opponent from doing their Blue Eyes plays, you yourself will add hand traps to the deck, like Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler and, I don't know, Droll, for example. You would add those to your deck. Infinite Imperm as well, as that's also a fucking hand trap or whatever. But for this intensive purposes, let's talk about the zombie cards, okay? Your opponent, okay, will then also be using cards like hand traps and stuff because they want to stop you from playing the game and stop your interactions, stop your searches and stuff like that too, okay?
So obviously you put in the counters to that. You put in your cold buys, your crossouts, your maxis, your whatever, your Niburus. You put those in there, okay? Just in case. So you're going to get an out. Both people playing a bunch of hand traps, okay? Nobody, outside of one Harpy's Feather Duster, nobody is playing MST. And Cosmic Cyclone has been so rare. I've seen Galaxy Cyclone get played a few times. Because that's pretty neat. That's what that stops a set card and a face-up card, assuming you like use them correctly. Buttersnuffs, they fucking should be. They fucking should be, mate. Sorry, but basically during your opponent's first turn, because you know they're gonna set up like a whole bunch of stuff. Like you're gonna summon your rod. You're gonna summon like you're gonna summon your field spell. You're gonna summon your magic dark magic circle. You're gonna put down Eternal Soul. You're gonna do all this stuff. Okay. Now, your opponent is obviously going to use Ash to stop some of those searches. Okay. That's just how it is. That's just how it's going to work. They're gonna use effective or something. Would you or would you not want to put in cold buys to stop that? Or would you want to put in Ash Blossom to occasionally maybe stop a Max C? Or are your opponent's play? Like, the thing I don't get is when people say that hand traps are only in reference to Max C and you'd only put in the counters to Max C to counter Max C. No, I would never look at it like that. Those cards are not designed to counter one specific card. They're there as sort of an all-encompassing, like, you don't know what your opponent is going to play, so it's better to block all possible routes that they could possibly play. That's what those cards exist for, and they should be seen as such. Floodgates, on the other hand, don't quite do that as an example. You're not really like stopping your opponent's plays with a floodgate. You're just making them not play the game, and it's really annoying. It's just how it is. Again, I guess you could probably put in stuff like Ghost Ogre to stop cards, because no, Ghost Ogre is any card. It's not just a monster that activates its effect. I think it's any card on the field that activates its effect. You can discard it and destroy it. No one's going to be using those cards though, because like people would rather have more cards that build up their own archetype than try to get rid of your back row. Because again, you don't know what your opponent is using. If I knew that my opponent was using Labyrinths before starting the duel, yes, I would put more back row removal in to stop them from setting an entire field, okay? If I knew my opponent was going to be using Horus or like Kashtira or something, yeah, I'd put more fucking like back row removal in, okay? I would. But unfortunately, I can't do that because I don't know what my opponent's going to be playing. It's a blind game. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, if it wasn't best of one, you'd have a lot more options for side decking spell and trap card destruction, and maybe more monster destruction based on like what your opponent is playing. But I don't think it's a match because of the fact that it's a short game. You don't want to be sitting there playing a match for like, you know, people already complain that turns take like 7 years to complete. So you wouldn't want to sit there for like half your life just playing one match. You'd want it to be over fast, okay? Where the best of one comes in. If you don't, you know, in your own opinion, if your deck is designed to go first and you don't get to go first, then fuck it. You surrender. You didn't draw a good hand, you surrender. Your opponent plays a deck you don't like, you surrender, alright? You just breathe incorrectly, you surrender, alright? Like, there's so many other ways to just go about this game. I would, to be I mean, I would prefer an option for matches. Like, let's say Konami added a new format to Master Duel that added, like, you know, a match-based game mode as opposed to best of one. I'd prefer that. You have a reason for side decks as well, but then they'd have to program in side decks. We'd never get to the second game. True.
Rementaru Hiro Basuto Wingerman.
Wingelman. Azora, what fucking shit did you just spout at me? Is that the burst wingman? Is that him? Sorry, I got a little distracted. That was one comment. Oh boy. Turning entire deck down is gonna...
Like I said last time, most decks that aren't meta usually only have one search in hand. And if you have 0 back row destruction, an extremely common effect, not only on monsters but spell and traps as well.
Wait. You're telling me back row is extremely common? What?
In your entire deck, that's entirely your fault.
The most, and I shit you not, the most people would do for back row removal in a non-archetype focused deck that has back row removal in it is Nightmare Phoenix and Harpy's Feather Duster. Outside of that, then it becomes up to your own personal preference. Request your family line. I, for one, have started putting it in because, like, SP is the new Phoenix. Oh, right. Because SP also does the same thing where it just banishes a card on the field. I forgot about that. Like, most people would rather have an extra deck monster that performs the same function because it can be made if needed. Whereas, if it's in your deck and not a monster or a spell and trap card effect, you have to rely on drawing it. Which, at that point, is completely up to chance. And you may or may not actually get it. Whereas, you're more likely to make a monster that has it. And even in that instance, aside from SP, you'd only want to have those as side decks, depending on what your opponent is playing. But, because you can't do that, your extra deck is mainly filled with, like, a bunch of generic garbage that has to be useful for, like, any situation you find yourself in. I do not add Twin Twisters.
Buttersnuff's Twin Twisters forces me to discard a card, and I don't want to discard a card. That seems like too high of a cost for me.
It's Cosmic Cyclone now. I like Cosmic Cyclone. I like it more than Galaxy Cyclone.
Sorry, if you're not arguing that hand traps, something that cannot be destroyed, have you played Labyrinth? And can only be consistently dealt with by another hand trap,
Have you, like, used those hand traps?
are easier to deal with, then you're objectively wrong. I need to sort yourself out.
This is a fucking hot take, bro. A hot take. Yeah, you can't MST hand traps. Wow. Crazy. Partially Galaxy Cyclone myself. Well, I think the only reason why I like Galaxy Cyclone is because it's a quick play. Oh, sorry, not Galaxy, Cosmic Cyclone. If Galaxy Cyclone was a quick play, I'd fucking use that. For sure. But then also playing Sky Strikers, I mean, you can just destroy back row regardless. Like, Sky Strikers have, like, a fair few ways of destroying back row. It's funny. Look how deck closes.
Yeah, except better decks rarely use floodgates, while non-meta makes use out of them, or even have an archetype-specific floodgate. Your whole point hinges on a situation that never happens.
Wait, what? Banner to low power deck, but I don't ride Mascus them because I have less tools to play with. Bro, I might be missing the point here, but are you trying to argue that, like, your 2010 deck with like 3 floodgates can go up against Snake Eyes? Hold on, I'm actually genuinely, I think a little too tired for this. What the fuck is he saying? So based. I don't know if I can read the rest of this bit. I'm like kind of dying. I'll just read it. I can't be bothered commenting on it anymore. Max is a problem.
It should be self-evident. You might as well be in complete disbelief that the sky is blue or water is wet.
All right, now we're just taking pot shots. Why are we only taking like just one snippets of like Chloe's comments? What's going on here?
That's rich, considering you live in complete denial of factual statements like hand traps are less interactive than floody gates, and balance isn't subjective.
Bro, I don't know what you think interactivity is, but it ain't floodgates. Also, Chloe didn't say balance is subjective. Chloe said the opposite of this. Balance is subjective. What are you talking about? Turn yourself into a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'll turn myself into a depressed trap card. He's almost over. He's just got one-liners now.
Considering you're not much better than the typical Yu-Gi-Oh player NPC, I highly doubt it.
What was this in reference to? What are you trying to say here? I'm so confused. How? What kind of debate? What is this? What is this comment? Whatever. We're saying it was blah blah blah.
That I do! Which, you know, if you actually read what I say like you claim I did.
Bro, Zephyr, it is so late right now. I've been reading what you say and like I fucking can't give a shit, man. Like, bro, I'm just here existing, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! What the fuck is this? What? Hold on. Yeah, different formats, maybe different formats. This is something I choose to engage your hobbies. And I do which I actually you're okay, I know where this comment is coming from now. It's because he likes to play with his friends. So he's engaging with his Yu-Gi-Oh hobby by playing with his friends and not playing meta slop, becoming a slave. Like, alright. Play how you want. That's fine. No one's gonna kill you for it. It's okay. So the majority actually disagree with you.
Well, I spit and curse on people regurgitating the same garbage as the hive mind plaguing the game. Simple as that.
Who? Who is this? Who is the boogeyman? Where are these people?
You can act like I'm pretending to be ultra.
I almost read this as autistic.
You can act like I'm pretending to be altruistic when you're the one claiming to be constructive and want to leave the discussion amicably. When all you do is defend the current abysmal state of things, willfully misinterpret my arguments, or make outright disingenuous statements that are nothing short of laughable.
Bro. Okay. Where did this come from? Where the fuck did this come? It's me. It's alright, please. This is a bit unhinged. Okay, like Zephyr, this is the point where I think you need to take a step back and read what you said, and like think about this for a hot minute. Just think about this, because personally, I don't even know what the fuck you just said. The people you're referring to, I'm assuming that the people who are like defending the current state of the game, alright? Where Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fun. I personally think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fun. Current modern Yu-Gi-Oh! If you went back, okay, like Zephyr, if you had a fucking time machine and you went back like 2 years or so and was like,
Samurai, do you genuinely like the current state of modern Yu-Gi-Oh?
I would respond with no. I don't like the current modern state of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's shit. I don't like cards like Ash. I don't like cards like Max C. Like, I don't like hand traps that do that kind of stuff. I hate that shit. Now, after learning how to play the game, and, you know, genuinely taking an interest into Mile Citadel and being serious about it, and being like, you know what? I want to try the new cards, okay? I want to see what they're like. And finding out that the game's a lot of fun and pretty good, and like, bro, you can win games if you just play like things like this. Like, if you take the game somewhat seriously, it's not a problem, and you can have your own fun with it. Okay, you don't have to win the coin toss or any nonsense like that. Or, you know, if you're in my boots, I love winning the coin toss and going second. It's my favorite thing ever, and I get to complain that I win the coin toss all the time. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, bro. I like how the music just was timed with that so perfectly just then, because I had to think for a minute. Before I knew what the game was actually like, and I only play again, going back 2 years and more ago, I only played like anime duels with my friends, okay? And yeah, I got my shit absolutely pushed in when I used my like hero pile against Catrix's Galaxy Eyes. Like, I had no fucking chance. No fucking chance in hell. But yet, I still found it fun. I can still find it fun nowadays by using like other methods to have fun and enjoy with my decks. Like, you could do that, bro. It's okay. Granted, I haven't used every single archetype in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know what you're playing, and I don't know if it's just not good. Okay? I'm just not sure. I mean, maybe you don't like what the game is like because of it. That's entirely on you. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is in a miserable state right now. I think it's in a pretty okay spot. I don't want it to be any worse than it is now. But, you know, whatever. Snake Eyes, Fire King bad, bleh, whatever. The way I see this, though, is people who are like Zephyr and just complain about how shit the game is now and are not open to change. Like, oh, that's the other thing, too. Like, what did change my mind was adapting to the more, like, modern flow of hand traps and, what's considered good nowadays versus, like, what was considered good, like, 10 years ago, okay? Like, Mirror Force isn't gonna win you a duel anymore, but Nibiru can. Like, it's shit like that. Where it's like, what you're doing, that back and forth exchange that you're, again, I know this has been regurgitated over and over and over again, and you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but, that back and forth that would happen over the course of like several turns of like setting a monster, passing, your opponent attacking into the monster, passing, you putting on a bigger beat stick, attacking, passing, and like doing that over and over and over again. That gets summed up into like 2 turns. A duel gets really fun and really crazy when you outlast your opponent and don't kill them. And then you have to somehow like battle with the remaining resources in your deck, and then shit just becomes like, okay, what can I craft? What kind of bullshit can I pull on my ass now in order to win this fight? That's where things start to get a little interesting. If your opponent can't survive past turn 3, then, oh well, I'm actually speaking from my perspective. If you went first and you didn't kill your opponent on turn 3, then things should start getting interesting at that point. If you were like me and you went second and your opponent has lived to see their turn 3, then I'm kind of curious where things could go. That makes me interested. Usually that happens if I play evenly matched. But usually if I play evenly matched, then my opponent quits and then I don't get to see what happens. So it's a bit upsetting. Bro, is evenly matched a hand trap, by the way? Asking for a friend. Just say, wait, also, yeah, Chloe has been quite constructive with the feedback she's given to your points, your initial points as well.
Because people are the little embodiment of the Yu-Gi-Oh player stereotype, and are consequently a major contributing part of the issues with Yu-Gi-Oh. After all, if every redacted decision is both financially and vocally encouraged by the community, nothing will change.
Azura, do you have a link to that Yu-Gi-Oh? Hang on, I'll find it. Hold on. Fuck. Oh, because I'm searching in the wrong fucking... God damn it. Here it is. Sorry, let me double back. What was this again? Sorry, Zephyr. If every redacted decision is both financially and vocally encouraged by the community, nothing will change. Okay, so the reason I want to bring this up is this blew my fucking mind.
The next Forbidden Unlimited list update will be coming in late August, so we can see the impact of the Infinite Forbidden on the game before making any changes. We're excited to see everyone's deck building creativity on display once info is released, and I'm assuming the comments are going to still be the same as they were when this got posted. Yeah, okay. So, vocally responding with like, bro, talking to the seats. Like, I don't think something like this should be encouraged to this extent, where it's like, I think people should be somewhat outraged that their ban list is taking this long to come out. But, you know, whatever. TCG is great, bro. Finally some communication. Hell yeah. Things are giving us a date, bro. Dude, everybody just loves communication. It's the best. Can ban the white woman or not. Imagine if they banned Diabellstar, wouldn't that be funny? Contexting someone understand. It's just crazy to me. Oh dude, Mystic Mine, I've heard that come up today.
But like, it's baffling to me at how many people are so interested in the fact that they've communicated. Like, wow, bro. Wow. They're doing it. They're actually having a date. Even though Snake Eyes hasn't been hit for God knows how long now. Wonderful. Excellent communication. Konami's doing a stand-up job. Fantastic. Wonderful. They're giving us a date. Absolutely fucking insane, bro. Absolutely fucking insane. Like, I just find it funny because somebody did bring it up. Like, so, you know, Konami has the power to implement the ban list right now, and has had the power to implement the ban list like whenever, and just chose not to. Just chose not to do it, and still isn't gonna do it to make more money. Bro, what the fuck? That's like not good. That's like kind of bad. But you know, congrats on communicating though. You know, big round of applause. Thank you, Konami. Really appreciate it. I want to suck your toes, Konami, please. Please. Tell me when the ban list is coming. I love it. Because like, that, you know, sums up this quite a bit. People shouldn't be excited that they're communicating. People should be kind of upset and being like, man, why are they communicating so late? Bro, the Snake Eyes have been so fucking, like, unhinged. Why? Because, it's just a month away. It's not like, you know, I mean, in comparison to the OCG though, Buttersnuffs, like, the OCG would have gone through like 2.5 ban lists by now. Like, fucking hell. Apparently it's been like, what, like 7 months since the last TCG ban list for like Snake Eyes and stuff. Like, Jesus. We're blowing it a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Tiny bit. I also didn't realize how expensive the Snake Eyes cards were in the TCG, but, you know, considering they want to, you know, delay the ban list, makes sense. Makes sense. But, you know, people being very vocal about that and responding positively is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It is a good thing that they've given a date for it. Yeah, sure. Not a good thing that they've held off this long for it, and are still continuing to hold off for it. It's like, guys, we finished counting the money. I think we can finally update the ban list. I think it's about time. We can do it. And now we can make room for more product. Great. Sorry.
No! Well, I don't. There's a few things I disagree with that people generally respect. Sorry. There's a few things I disagree with that people I generally respect have said. Once you're done attacking that straw man, let me know. Thanks in advance.
Are you gonna provide any evidence? You're trying to take down a straw man with another. It's a fucking straw man fight, okay? Like, at least tell me what the quote was that you disagreed with that people have said. Please. You can't just say that. 7 months has been insane. 7 months of Snake Eyes being a tier 0 deck is a little crazy. A little crazy. But it is better than dropping a ban list right before a fucking tournament, so, you know. That's somewhat better. The Buttersnuffs. Okay, after seeing this, what I find so funny about it is I fucking hope the ban list doesn't actually do anything. Like, I just want to rub salt into the wound and be like, guys, you were supporting this so much, and they didn't hit Snake Eyes. Can you believe it? No way. They actually unbanned Max C. Dude, what? No way. What? I thought you guys wanted this. You were so supportive of them announcing a ban list. Yo, bro, what? What do you mean you don't like the changes? Come on. Probably why they're delaying it. You know. That'd be so fucking funny. Because you know if that happened, there'd be like vitriol outrage. People would be so pissed. Again, Zephyr, I would like to know the things that you disagree with that have been said by prominent figures in the community that you enjoy. Please. You don't... In order to defend a claim like this, you have to pull a receipt. That's how debating works.
No, it isn't.
It kind of is, because some people might find that, I mean, like, bro.
But thanks for proving the point I made in that comment.
Like, bro. This also goes against what you said earlier, but, you know, whatever. It's like 7 hours, and I mean, like... Oh, is this... Oh, the stream? No, this stream's only been, like, for a few minutes, right? That's how I'm knowing. It's only been, like, nearly 5 hours, speaking of which I need to stop streaming. How much more is left? Oh, Zephyr! Zephyr, please! Oh, I'm gonna blast through these. Okay.
Last time I checked, I'm the only one here actually pointing out the issues of the game, as while you and the others have done nothing but disagree and argue the opposite, even something is not confusion. What have you done? What? You just sit here and complain. You've done nothing but argue how most of the current issues of the game aren't issues just because balance is subjective and some people like it, therefore it's not an issue. That's an object lie. Thank you. Because you literally are. You're the same cookie cutter Yu-Gi-Oh player I've come across pretty much every time. Really, the same person. I've had arguments pertaining to balance. Well, I could find a dozen people identical to you in the forums, and there's probably a dozen more elsewhere on the forums dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh. You can call them, you call my ideas shallow. When you are so shallow, you don't have any ideas that this is a, okay, you missed the opportunity for a pun here, calling them like a puddle in comparison, but whatever. You don't have ideals for the game other than defending the current state of the game. Did you not hear the talk about formats? Could you just gloss over the format comment without claiming you want to see the game improve as well? Did you not read what she said? So which is it? Do you want the game to improve or do you want to simply disagree with anything I've said in the wrong? Did you not read the fucking comment? Okay, I'm getting a little mad now. She literally said it like 3 times and I read it like 3 times. What the fuck? Skimming and then replying. Hold on, can I just go back and have a look at where the fuck Chloe said this? Hold on. Oh, this was a shallow comment right here. Boogeyman. It was not in this one. It was in the previous one. Oh my god, Zephyr, you gotta just stop. The game, hang on. Intense burst casual player. The games, all things. Oh my god. I'm too long sorted on a game. There's floodgates. Should play based on all. Also, complete chasing for the really worst. I mean, this is relevant. Man, so often, games to the Mystic White person. Fuck! I know it's here, Zephyr. I swear I'm looking for it. Sorry, this is Zephyr's comment. Fuck Zephyr. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Bro, please. I'm sorry, Zephyr. I had to out you like that. Fuck. My bad, guy. I'm sorry. What are we up to? I should have replied. At least with both of them. I mean, like, if Zephyr's gonna have to have this debate, you gotta keep your facts in check, bro. You gotta keep your facts in check. But, sorry, hold on. Oh man, where the fuck was I up to? Okay, you can't say this because fucking Chloe has already debunked this. Do you want the game to approve it? Just gonna be... Yeah, you need to, like, actually reread what Chloe said in the first response to you. Like, and actually let it, like, sit in your head for more than 10 seconds. Completely false for reasons I said it earlier. What is completely false? No, it's not completely false because you took this in bad faith. What the fuck? Don't okay, please, Zephyr, please don't contradict yourself like this in the same breath. Please, you have one job. Don't do this. Okay, I thought this was gonna be like shit, but now it's kind of gotten pretty good. Zephyr, why? Considering everything, doubtful.
Really? What has Chloe said that has made her not a neutral party? What? Did you read anything?
Oh my god. This game. Oh, I absolutely will, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Said would be bittersweet, since that's not much better than the current downward spiral. Oh, I don't want the game to end, only to improve. Yeah. Like, what's so funny about this is you both are arguing for this point. You want the game to improve, yet for some reason Zephyr doesn't think Chloe wants that to happen. Like, why is there an argument here? You guys are both on the same side. You're just punching each other for no reason. Well, actually, no, you're not. Well, actually, no. Chloe has clapped back a few times. And I'm sure, sadly, although Chloe has given up, but holy shit, this was ridiculous. Every stream or so. This is just one thread. And I know I wanted to read this at some point, but Jesus, I didn't think it was like, I only skim read this when I saw it coming out, and I was like, there's no way it's that bad. Holy fuck. End of the day, will this place. Well, I don't know about that, considering you don't seem like you'd be torn up about it. I mean, yeah. What? How? What do you mean? I don't know about that. You're torn up about it? She literally, like, literally, word for word, she said if the game was discontinued tomorrow, she'd move on to greener pastures. Literally. No! This is just a factual statement. Why are you unsure about this? What? It's just like, yeah, okay, I agree with you on this one, but I'm not going to sound like I agree with you. Like, what? Come on, case. Well, I suppose there's silver linings for everything. You finally coming around? Though, it goes without saying that Konami's a business and listens to money. Yeah, I mean, this is... I can literally bring up the evidence. It's right here, bro. It's right here. As such, the whales that spend hundreds of dollars on parks, which are usually the ones chasing meta, go figure, are contributing to Yu-Gi-Oh's issues. If you think there's anything logically wrong with that statement, I don't know what to tell you. There is a discussion to be had here. This should be its own thread, because I'm curious about this. Konami's ban lists in Master Duel, I personally feel do cater towards selling more product, because they are a business at the end of the day, and that's what businesses do. Alright? Like, the reason why Max C is at 3 is to probably give some people a hope. Max C is ultra rare, by the way. Do keep that in mind, and it doesn't just, like, randomly come from somewhere. You have to craft it, meaning you have to just buy packs to get it, or, you know, use the in-game currency to get packs to get Max C. And such a prevalent card that everyone's using, it's a staple that everyone needs to have. Granted, I don't like using it, but one is enough for me. Alright? Anyway, there is a discussion to be had on this topic, but I don't think we're going to get into that today, apparently. We'll keep it going. Well, I blame the community for contributing to the problem because they 100% do, either financially or by shutting down, desisting, and pretending the game is fine. Oh, dissident? What is this? I don't think I know this word. Shit, I'm not an English major. Blame the community for contributing. You really should be blaming Konami, not the community. The community is just playing the game that they're handed. Dissent. This word. That one. Well, I don't have to say it when you've proved your... I don't have to say it when you've proved your... I don't have to say it when you proved so yourself. Jesus, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. I'm sorry, man. And it's not like the easy way out. It's the truth. If you have such an issue with that, then that says a lot about yourself, especially when you pretend to be on the moral high ground. I don't think Chloe is pretending to be on any fucking high ground at all, alright? Or any moral stand. Like, again, do you know what neutral party means? Do you understand what that means? You could say you're a neutral party or want to fix the game all you want. Okay, you can't just add this. You can't just add this in here and not address it earlier in your fucking debacle, alright? You can't just say that. That's a little disingenuous. All you want, but actions speak louder than words. And your actions say otherwise. Actions? Actions. What actions?
clowning on you because you're a fucking idiot? I don't know. Dude, dragon rulers though? Bro, what? What was this comment thread about? You're right, just because you say you're right. That's funny. Bro, what? Zephyr, I think we need to have a little chat. What's going on here, mate? I might... Okay, I'm actually genuinely considering now. Emphasis on the E. Ent. I know I've heard that word before, but I don't know what it means. I'm assuming it means dismissive of any claims. That, like, a supplement for dismissive. Or fuck, I don't know. Or shutting down any argument, maybe? Shutting down any, like, constructive feedback? I don't know, I'm just trying to fill the blanks in here like Sesame Street. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Alright, listen, I've read the thing. All I gotta say is Chloe did good. Zephyr, what the fuck, man? You really were taking things in bad faith. What the fuck? Bro, come on. Don't do that. Don't out yourself. I also didn't realize, Steam seems to remove the originally posted stuff, like, after a certain while. Maybe he just fucked up the quote. I don't know, because sometimes it comes back, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what's going on here. Please slumber. Yeah, I'm gonna make a pizza. I'm done here. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I'll have to catch you guys on the next stream of which maybe some point. All right, we'll see. We'll see when that is. Maybe tomorrow. I think I've done enough reading for 1 week.